Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending on where and when you're watching this broadcast. I'm Thomas Fessler, my friends, and this is Disclosure Tonight. Happy Wednesday, June 24th, 2026. And wow, look at this. Disclosure forms tomorrow, folks. Yes, it's going to be 8.5 hours, including breaks, I think. And hey, it's going to be one heck of a doozy. And we're going to talk about it today and say, is this going to be worth something for any of you to go ahead and watch? Let's go ahead and talk about this first, but first we have to go ahead and welcome in our audience, because this is a live program and I have to welcome in the audience, folks. Let's see who the heck we have out there in the chat right now. 56 Bel Air is out there along with Anne Marie. April's out there along with Aussie and Celtic Girl and Digger Dog. Doc's in the chat along with Dragon Rider FPV. We got Dusty Yee, Liza Teal, Elvis Roten, Evan B, and Firefly. Good to see you, Geraldine Durazio, along with Grateful Benny, Hudson Valley Ron. Emmett Garnsart is out there along with J Cat Meow. We got Jeff G, Joe Has Gas, and Kelly Brote with those ever-piercing blue eyes. What else do we have out there? We got Kiwi DJ, along with Lord Malthus. We got Lori G. Good to see you. Most definitely not CIA, because you're most definitely not the CIA. But then again, you never know. We got Necessary Dialogue along with Puck Elf. Push King's out there along with Rainbow Kim. Storm Hunter, Brainstorm Hunter, that is, along with Randy Robert John. We got Scooby Dooby Gooby, Sweaty Nerd. Teresa Loves Our President, The Truth Master, Warp Drive, Wasteland Wanderer. We got Wolfie J, and of course, Yellow Tommy Tanker, also known as Andy. Wow. What a day, what a time, what an opportunity. There's some cool stuff going on tomorrow, I hope. If not, it's going to give some stuff to talk about tonight, folks, and keep up our national security. Mike, how the hell are you, my friend?
I'm doing well, and I believe there's going to be some national security going on tonight.
Yeah, I think so.
It's Wednesday, hump day.
Yeah, middle of the week, yeah. A lot of people showed up for last night's show. Really interested in what was going on with those... what do you call it? The jellyfish thing that they saw.
Right.
You know, there's even some doubt from people out there, Mike, that this jellyfish thing could have possibly been non-human for some respects, because we may be getting a partial description of what they actually really saw, which would not be surprising that the government would be covering this up, right?
Right. Plus the actual jellyfish video of a UAP that we got from Jeremy Corbell, that was over in Afghanistan, which is not far away from Iran.
There's a lot of stuff in the Middle East, isn't there?
Yeah, there seems to be.
I wonder if it's because of all that heat and all that sand that makes a not so hospitable place for there to be a lot of people to witness this stuff.
Yeah. Plus, there's a lot of nuclear activity over there with reactors
it's kind of
and
near
bombs.
Israel and the Holy Land. I wonder if there could be some kind of tie to that too, Mike.
Oh, from a religious aspect? Yeah, you never know.
Never know.
Could be.
You know those golden orbs?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
The intelligent sentient plasmoids that Grush was talking about.
Right. Leading the three wise men.
Yeah. Could be.
All right, let's go ahead and get to this. Where's the chat? What the hell? What did I do with the chat? Chat, where the hell are you? There we go. Anything could be possible. Well, I'm not sure what we're talking about. Yeah, we might get UFO files on Friday, too. Stuff tomorrow sounds interesting. There's going to be a lot of talking going on and a lot of listening. So let's go ahead and get to the video studio at this video room. We got to roll out the old project. We got to roll out the either the TV and the VCR or, gosh, the old real projector. You remember those, don't you?
Oh, I do. Yeah. Oldie but a goodie.
All right, so here, this isn't from today, but we got good old Leland Vitter here. You know, he's a little bit of a doubter, Mike.
Okay. They're all out there. They're out there, yeah.
Yeah. So, on that note, let's see where this goes. Here we go, everybody.
Pictures of Capitol Hill, where lawmakers are preparing for Thursday's UFO Disclosure Day, not the movie, but an actual one. It's a full day focused on government transparency about UFOs, other unexplained objects in the sky. But one fighter pilot may have already figured some of this out. A stunning new report reveals a downed American fighter pilot may have seen something over Iran that looked more like science fiction than modern warfare. According to a CNN report, the U.S. pilot rescued after being shot down over Iran in April repeatedly described a chilling sight. Dozens of drones moving together in a coordinated formation, something called a jellyfish formation, drifting through the sky, similar to what you see in this UFO video from 2017. The downing of the F-15 fighter jet marked the first time U.S. aircraft has been shot down over Iran during the conflict. First time a U.S. aircraft has been shot down in a very long time. If the airman really saw what he described, that means Iran has developed a new way to overwhelm some of America's most advanced fighter jets, a sophisticated drone network that would hunt and destroy enemy aircraft. For decades, strange lights in the sky have fueled UFO theories, alien theories. One of the most obvious explanations is adversarial technology. The Chinese or Russians testing something right under our noses. Could have given it to the Iranians. With us now, cultural anthropologist, member of the UAP Science Advisory Council, Dr. Peter Skafish, retired U.S. Marines fighter pilot, Lieutenant Colonel Tom Oltornick. Gentlemen, good to see you both. Dr. Skafish, starting with you. What he's describing, as best we can tell, does it match any of the videos that we've been seeing over the past couple of years?
Well, thanks for having me on. It doesn't match any of the videos that I know of, with the exception of one that I think is so dubious that I wouldn't want to comment on that. But what it does match is occasional reports over the decades of things that do look like jellyfishes, sometimes larger than this, that predate the time where that could have been a drone swarm. So, there's an indication that this could be a UAP not of human origin. Another term for that I like to use and that we're developing is a non-anthropogenic vehicle, or a NAV.
Okay, well, it would not be the military or science fiction world if we didn't have more acronyms. Lieutenant Colonel, there's reporting about this pilot being shot down and then ejected is probably one of the most violent things the human body can endure. Here's CNN's thought on what he went through during that time that he noticed this.
For one, the pilot was concussed from being shot down, and two, this was actually the second time he had been shot out of the sky during the weeks-long conflict with Iran. He was one of the pilots that was hit by friendly fire over Kuwait just a few weeks before that, too. But all that taken into account, this did spark a debate inside the U.S. intelligence community.
All right, that matches my reporting as well, that he had been hit by friendly fire. He was one of the ones who was shot down a little earlier in the war. Colonel, somebody who's gone through being shot at by a surface-to-air missile, the explosion in the plane, and then a concussion and an ejection. I hate to say, does it call into question, but does it make this report credible or not?
Well, I believe it would be credible. That's this pilot's account, as far as we know. Some of it's classified. I've never been shot down before, thank God, but very, very close. I've had missiles very close, AAA, things like that. So it is loud, it's violent. It's mortal combat when we're in that environment, and we saw that. The reports of the pilot are very concerning. It was a violent environment that they came out of, and the ejection itself is violent. That's the second one that this pilot went through in the same theater, which I believe is probably a record. But he was able to walk away from both of them. I'm assuming he passed his flight physical. He's back in flight status, so he's very fortunate in that regard. And we had some intelligence come out of it. Looks like maybe it was leaked, which is never a good thing. Classification matters in national security, but we are learning bits and pieces as we go.
Yeah. My theory, or at least question out of this, is it explains why we haven't heard from either of the two pilots who were rescued in Iran. It seemed as though that's the kind of thing that we would at least either see them or hear from them or have them come to the White House, and we did not. This may explain that. Dr. Skafish, you seem to be skeptical, though, that this explanation from the pilot in some of these videos would be an adversarial weapon system, meaning the Chinese or the Russians.
Well, with this particular case, I'm agnostic, and I don't have enough information to make any kind of call. What I think we're facing here is what now feels like the age-old problem, which is that you have a public that knows to some extent and increasingly knows that some UAP really aren't of human origins, but they're technologies. And they're looking to aviators, they're looking to military aviators, they're looking to the government for answers, but they're not fully getting answers. You know, the government's become better about that in the last 5, 6, 7 years. But we're far away from what we call disclosure, where we would have a full acknowledgement of something that I and some of my colleagues know for a fact, which is that there is a part of the intelligence community that certainly knows this is real, which is to say there are technologies not of human origins that are in our atmosphere, they're under the sea.
Mike, I got to interrupt on this one really quick. It's good to hear someone come out and say we haven't achieved disclosure yet.
Oh, yeah. Skafish is right on the money. Not enough data, no way to come up with a conclusive answer. He hit the nail right on the head.
Disclosure has started, but we haven't gotten the definitive proof that can sway the public court of opinion to go ahead and believe all this stuff what was actually being talked about.
Of course not. He's correct. And we agree with him.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Back to this. Here we go.
Coming down from space.
All right. There's a lot to unpack in there, but Colonel, you I think remain skeptical of this. How much weight do we give one pilot's, or even a few pilots, explanation, observation, firsthand account versus the lack of evidence otherwise?
Well, as you mentioned previously, the fog of war could come into play. You have to kind of evaluate what the pilot is saying against what you know on an intelligence front. The debriefers may actually know more than he knows, and they're just trying to confirm what this pilot saw and experienced. I don't think the viewer should be surprised that there are airborne drone mesh networks out there. They do fireworks displays with these things, thousands of them working in unison. It's not a stretch that they are deploying this stuff in the battle space. There's mesh networks on the ground. There can be airborne mesh.
Yeah,
networks.
or that this was U.S. technology.
He wants it to be everything except what it possibly is. He's even taking the eyewitness accounts of the aviators who saw this stuff, Mike, and trying to discount it. I told you he's someone who's not bought into this, and he's looking for any opportunity he can to call it out being something else.
That's certainly what it seems like, Thomas. You're right about that. He's waffling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's his stance. You know, we don't have a good Peter Ducey here, or Elizabeth Vargas, or Ross Coulthard, or Rob Woods, or any of those people. No, he's just someone who seems to be in the not a believer. But that's fine. He just again, he's one of the millions out there who just needs really good evidence.
Right. Everybody does. The public does. He's, going the prosaic route.
Yeah. Got a couple seconds left here. Hold on.
That the pilots didn't know about. Dr. Skafish, Colonel, thank you both very much.
Thank you for.
So good to see it's still being talked about. And again, a different view. Everyone has a different view of this and what it could potentially be. And I think when we did a survey on this yesterday, Mike, what it could be, we were at a deadlock with 100 votes in and a 50-50 score, right?
It was split right down the middle, Thomas.
Right down the middle with 100 votes.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
We haven't had a poll like that before.
No, we haven't. Absolutely. All right.
We know the audience is divided, as they have a right to be.
Oh, yeah. You need to be, my friend. Absolutely.
Look, we are, so why wouldn't they be?
We'll go ahead and give our opinion of what things could or could not be. But what it comes down to is people to go ahead and take this information, and I'm not going to say what the government figure out where they want to lay, but that's where it really comes down to anybody. But we're not just going to go ahead and give you the information and say, make up your minds for yourself.
No. We're going to say what we know and what we know to be true and what we know not to be true.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So no comments in the peanut gallery. Let's move on.
Yes.
All right. Getting to the main topic of tonight. Yes. We've got something. Where was I at before, Thomas? So, yes. The disclosure form, 2026. It's tomorrow, June 24th, starting at 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern. It's going to be going on for 8.5 hours. I have to work tomorrow, so. That would be one hell of a long podcast. Holy shit. But we'll figure something out. I don't know, but
well, we'll cover it at one point or another or figure something out, like you said.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's tomorrow. It's if I now get back to where I should be with the video, Thomas Big. All right, so it's basically saying here behind my head. Oh, let's put it down here. Humanity at the edge of discovery. It's going to be in the Rusted Center office building in Washington, D.C. Live in 11 hours, June 25th. That's tomorrow, 6 a.m. Pacific. That's early. That's almost like a UFO drop, which if there's one of those on Friday, we have to worry, wonder, we have to save ourselves for the right thing. All right, getting into it. Now, what is all going to be going on here? Who's going to be here? What's the forum lineup? If we get into it, the forum will convene policymakers. Hold on. Let's see if this thing is mobile friendly. There we go. The forum convenes policymakers, researchers, scientists, journalists, and institutional leaders for a serious public conversation on disclosure and its implications. A lot of people we're seeing here. Mike Rounds, Senator Mike Rounds. Senator Kirsten Gillibrand is actually Kiki herself. We got Anna Paulina Luna from the House of Representatives. We got Representative Eric Burleson from the House of Representatives. Would you look at this? We've got Andre Carson from the U.S. House of Representatives, a Democrat. We've got another Democrat, Suhas, who's a Democrat from Virginia. Of course, Christopher Mellon. But, and back to Mike Rounds again. You know who's missing out of this, Mike?
Who?
Where's Tim?
Oh, yeah, he's absent.
Mm-hmm.
Well, listen, not that long ago, we saw
Did someone
that
scare him away with her broom?
Well, yeah, and that too. But also, if you remember, recently Tim came out with a public appeal that he's looking for people to donate to his campaign, $5, $10, whatever they can spare, because he is not getting funding from his party.
Yeah.
So he might be busy with the upcoming midterm elections.
Yeah.
Could be.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully all is fine with him. We love Tim Burchett here, probably more than anyone else who's going to be on the featured speakers. But wait, there's more. Let's get into it. Who are the additional speakers and moderators that are going to be there? First of all, we have Kirk McConnell. He's the former senior professional staff member from the Senate Committee on Armed Services, the advisory board member, and part of the Disclosure Foundation. Oh, look at this. It's Avi Loeb.
Of course.
Harvard University, an advisory board member, and Disclosure Foundation. I guess it's Okay, they're not putting in like their titles under Science Council. Got it. Hal Puthoff, Mr. Remote Viewing himself, president and CEO of Earth Tech International. That's where Rick worked with him, right? He's a person who's been around for a while. Also, Carlos Ear, lawyer T. Lawson, Briggs Professor of History and Religious Studies. Okay, this is the guy who's looking at everything for religion and how that's all going to tie together. Getty Schwartz, from who's a correspondent on NBC News. Kristen Fisher, Emmy Award-winning space journalist. Mike Gold, used to be from NASA. Pippa Malmgren, well, her dad was Howard Malmgren, who actually back in the time did try to disclose some information when he was part of the program. Matthew Tuttle, he's, I believe, part of the Disclosure Fund. Janice, interesting way. Janice is like Janice and Janice put together in one. Vilhaller, she's a clinical psychologist, talking about the psychological effects of disclosure. We're getting into it next. We got, who could forget Tim Gallaudet? Here's the Rear Admiral, U.S. Navy retired. He was former acting Secretary of Commerce for Oceans and Atmosphere, former acting administrator of NOAA. Ocean exploration stuff and our atmosphere. Then you got Susan Winterberg. She is from the Harvard Kennedy School's Better Center for Science and International Affairs. Jonathan Miller, program engineer from MIT Mechanical Engineering and Department of Engineering. Marik von Rennenkampff, just saw him a little over a week ago with Nick. Former analyst, Department of State. He's a journalist for The Hill, covers a lot of good stuff. And Mr. Flowers, Jordan the Flower, executive director of the Disclosure Foundation. A lot of people, which means there's going to be a lot of things they're going to talk about. Let's jump into that next. What are they having? Well, where is it going to be? It's going to be in the heart of Washington, D.C. The Disclosure Forum is going to convene inside the Kennedy Caucus Room at the Russell Senate Office Building, a historic chamber built for moments of national consequence. Well, let's hope Lester gets the audio working this time. He's a director of operations. And if there's not a better operation, if you're having something like that, have good audio. Saying, love you, Lester. All right. Going to be in Capitol Hill. Starts tomorrow, 9 o'clock. All right. Panels and presentations. Before we get into that, I actually have another video here. Let me go ahead and bring this one up. This is Lester Nair, who's the director of operations for the Disclosure Foundation. Let me go ahead and get this up here. Let's bring up this story and enjoy it. Here we go, folks. And then we'll come back and talk about all the individual things that are going to be going on tomorrow. But I figure this is a good quick teaser and overview. Here we go, everybody.
Landmark event set to take place in Washington, D.C. in just a few days. The UAP Disclosure Forum. That's where lawmakers, whistleblowers, and so many more will once again gather on Capitol Hill. They're going to continue their push for UFO transparency. This comes amid growing pressure for full disclosure from the federal government, going past the 3 batches of UFO files we've seen unsealed so far. The most recent drop included this video that we're showing you of mysterious reddish orbs of light just floating over a pond. Along with this week's UAP forum, another major development is also in the works. A new multidisciplinary team of scientists is being assembled. They're ready to supply their expertise to our nation's government on whether some of these sightings could be alien in nature. To break all of this down, let's bring in Director of Operations for the Disclosure Foundation, Lester Nair. Lester, welcome to the show.
Pleasure to be here, Hannah.
Pleasure to have you. I want to start with this upcoming forum. I am so fascinated by this because you are one of the core team members running point on next week's event. Tell me a bit more about it. What are the goals? Who can we expect to hear from?
So as we've seen the government now put forth records that really are identifying that this is not just allegations anymore, this is an issue that we've been dealing with some time, we need to begin to bring together not only members of Congress from both the House and the Senate who have been really speaking to this issue vigorously for the last several years, but also the broader scientific community and the general public to start to make sense of what it is we may be dealing with here.
Let's talk about the batches of UFO files that have been released thus far. Any sticking points for you? Are you at all concerned that any of these files could be a national security concern?
There's certainly national security aspects to this, especially given that—
Hold on, folks. We had 2 calls for national security.
Everybody drink up.
That's twice. That's a double.
Yep, it is.
All right, continue. Here we go. Sorry, I had to interrupt.
we are seeing, particularly in the documents, that these incursions of technological objects of unknown origins are occurring not only over the continental United States, but also over nuclear facilities. But if we look at the broader allegations from whistleblowers such as David Grush, if any of these represent technologies of non-human origin, there are significant broader societal implications here, not only from the national security perspective, but also from a psychological, sociological, economic, and religious context. So part of what we're trying to do at the forum is broaden the aperture, not only just to focus on the national security applications, but how do we as a general public really begin to potentially integrate what may be sensational revelations that will arise out of this process?
Oh, Lester, I don't have to tell you, that's a very difficult question to answer. What do you see happening next when it comes to these files? Will the Department of War keep releasing them very slowly, a trickle? Or will events like the one you're throwing or this week's Disclosure Forum lead to the total, full, and immediate release of any remaining files, videos, documents?
I think the process is going to be important here. We actually just recently did a national poll on this subject, and 84% of Americans want more government information on this, but the trust in the government on this issue is as low as 21%. So we have to bridge that gap, and a couple of ways we can do that is by getting actual sensor data into the hands of the scientific community, which will help with independent validation, which is something that the UAP Science Council you mentioned earlier will potentially assist with. But ultimately, we really are going to have to address head on the allegations of the potential possession of physical materials, either within the hands of the US government or private contractors. And as many of the public look at this issue, that is the aspect that they are most keenly interested in. And what is the process by which we locate this and potentially bring it back to government control if, in fact, this is within the defense industrial base as opposed to being within the hands of the US government directly? There are a lot of complex questions here, and we're going to need a very broad approach to both do the incremental process of let's get better data to establish that we may be dealing with something truly anomalous here, while also potentially going for a leapfrog approach to get directly to the alleged materials that may exist in possession of either the government or contractors.
Lester, I have to say, this sounds like an overwhelming task. I want to go back to the UAP Science Advisory Council. Just to remind our viewers, this is a team of scientists. They're set to work alongside the U.S. government. They're led by one of our regular guests, Professor Avi Loeb. What do you make of this council? Do you think this is a crucial next step?
I think what it identifies is that the government understands the broader implications of this and is trying to build a whole of government approach. The UAP Science Council is one of what will be a larger interagency process run by not only the White House, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, the FBI, and the Department of War. And so we're bringing a lot of the bureaucratic institutions that are going to be necessary to address this to the table. And the UAP Science Council, again, is going to be particularly important given sort of the lack of trust issue we just talked about. But one of the challenges that this issue always brushes up against is the classification problem. And as we know today, the Science Council will not be given access to some of the classified data. And so the declassification process, in order to get real sensor information and independently validatable information, is going to be a very, very key aspect to this.
Oh, let's see how it plays out in the next few days. Thank you so much for coming on, Lester Nare. We appreciate your time.
Thank you for watching.
Mike, interesting points being brought up here. It's the same stuff we brought up last night, and we've been bringing up on Disclosure tonight for weeks at this point.
Words of light.
The lack of data that we have is preventing anybody from looking at any of the videos and stuff that's being released and not being able to tell what the hell is going on.
Oh, exactly. They're redacting these files. They're giving us disclosure dots, and they're really dragging their ass on bringing the information out to the public. So people are getting frustrated with that, Thomas.
Yeah. And it's evident for those who don't believe and those who are looking for the information they need by redacting it. It's pulling away the stuff that they would need to normalize and kind of accept some of the amazing things that they're seeing on these videos and help them, connect those disclosure dots.
Right. And provide more information for the government. I mean, come on, let's get real here for a second. They have been studying this over 80 years. They have a lot more information on this than they brought out publicly at all yet. And the public is really frustrated about that. They're looking for answers. They want proof.
Everybody,
and we're not getting it yet. Yeah, we do too.
That's the biggest thing is you can't have faith in this stuff. You leave faith for religion, for believing about things like the Easter Bunny or Santa Claus, stuff where you cannot have, there is no physical proof of the stuff that you're claiming.
Right.
And we don't want faith. We want facts. We want evidence. Show us what the hell's going on so we can, connect the dots.
And make up our own minds. And like Lester Nair just said, bring this information out to the scientific community as well. Let them take a crack at it, which the government hasn't allowed the general scientific community and the scientists that are out there hard at work on this subject to giving them the information that they would need to move forward.
Right. But yeah. They can't even make any assessments without the data. Nobody can. Hopefully,
Right.
I mean, this is something we talked to Lou about when he was around. He said, we're working on it. Not sure if they're working on getting the information going through something like the Disclosure Foundation, but Lou's no longer a part of that at all, is he?
Oh, no, he got the fuck out of Dodge from that organization as quickly as he could. And thank God for that. They have really taken a bad approach when they formed as the Disclosure Fund a few years ago with their 501c4 donations that they were receiving, which means anybody that would pony up to the pot and donate to the cause would not receive a tax exemption for their donation. So as a result of that, they haven't really been getting a lot of donations from the public for their organization. So they recently decided to change everything up, and now they are renamed under Disclosure Foundation, and they are now filing under as a 501c3, meaning if anybody does donate to the cause for them, they will this time get a tax write-off on it. So they're changing up the game, and I have a feeling because the tax returns that they filed as a charity last year basically was almost non-existent, they're looking to turn things around. And I'm sure that one of the main reasons they're doing this Disclosure Foundation tomorrow with these speakers is they want to be recognized by the public. They want marketing. They want attention. It's a money grab. They want the people to become aware and start paying them.
Any 501c3 you have, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Restricts how the money can be spent, but the one thing it doesn't restrict is how much executive compensation can be paid out. And a lot of times, the majority of the money that does flow into a 501c3, unless it's part of their charter or different parts, doesn't stipulate or detract from how many millions of dollars you can pay per individual for the services that they provide. So...
Oh, well, let's take a look at, we had Jay Albertson.
But if you're putting full time in, you're doing stuff, people technically do deserve compensation, but it's just, it's a balancing act.
Sometimes it's a lot more than just a simple balancing act. We had Jay Albertson on the show talking about when he was dealing with MUFON. Yeah. And that was another nonprofit 501c3. There were millions of dollars that went south that they wouldn't answer to anybody about, and he was a whistleblower on that.
Or you got the guys calling up from some police fraternal organization, and they want the money. But if you look into it, 90% of the money goes into that fraternal organization who makes all the phone calls and the people who run it, and only a small amount actually goes to the people who deserve it.
Right. Unfortunately, that's usually the case. So I am a little skeptical about this foundation and what they're doing tomorrow. A lot of the people they have scheduled to come and talk, number one, we've heard basically everything that a lot of these people have had to say publicly for years now. I don't believe it's going to be anything new or relevant that's going to have to do with disclosure and where we currently are in 2026. I think these people are going to be a bunch of talking heads that are just going to come and speak. And the Disclosure Foundation is going to try to get the public's attention so they could raise their donation drive for funding.
Well, let's just hope, even with the minimal amount of funding that they're getting right now, that they're going to have positive results for what they're dealing with.
Well, yeah, that's a good hope. But I could tell you that when they first started their charter for the Disclosure Fund,
they were a 501c4.
One of the things, they were 501c4. But part of the mission statement was that they were going to take a portion of that money and they were going to use it in Washington, D.C. to lobby for disclosure within the government. But from the time that they filed their tax return for the previous year, there was zero amount of money that went towards any type of lobbying. So they failed on that respect. So we're going to see moving forward what's going to continue to go on over there.
Mm-hmm. Well, we got a little message from a bird in the audience. Someone just said from Terry Hall from Borgen. Good to see you, Terry. Love your Starliner. Hopefully we're able to sell it. Let's go ahead and just see. Yeah, we have 339 people watching, Mike, but only 92 likes. If you're having a good time, folks, do us a favor. Give us a thumbs up. More importantly, you haven't subscribed yet. You're having a good time. Enjoy national security like the rest of us. Go ahead, give us a subscribe. We'd love to have you as a regular, Mike. And what's our current deal we've got going on this month about subscriptions, Mike?
Well, the cost of the subscriptions are always free, so it doesn't cost anything out of pocket. But with that, we also give you a double your money back guarantee. So anytime we go live, anytime there's notifications, if you subscribe to the channel, you will be notified when we are going to come on, sometimes unexpectedly.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
So,
hit that bell. Tell it on notifications. I won't bother you. Trust me. We go live. Usually it's been once daily, but if something goes on, you'll get a notification, let you know that we're on for the night and what's going on with us.
Right. And sometimes there's breaking news and we come on unexpectedly, and you will be notified of that. So the cost is free, and it's a win-win situation for you. So everybody should like and subscribe.
God, yeah, absolutely. Now getting back to where were we at? All right, here we go. Let's zoom across. This is now the God, there's not a schedule.
No.
No, there is a
no.
schedule.
Well, we know Christopher Mellon's going to be the first speaker.
Schedule, but they're not telling us who's talking when.
No, that they're not doing.
Or where lunch is going to be, or who's catering.
Right.
And if
maybe bring your own lunch. You don't know.
He is a cook, where's his hat, and what about his spatula?
Yeah.
All right.
No,
so
they're kind of loose on the information.
Opening address at 9 a.m. prompt. Christopher Mellon. Opening keynote address on the current landscape of UFO disclosure. Louder, check. There we go. All right, next one is a congressional roundtable. Man, I like the other one better. Oh, this does have it. All right, congressional roundtable on UAP transparency. You're going to have who's going to be here? Representative Anna Polina Luna, Representative Eric Burleson, Representative Andre Carson, and Representative Subramaniam. Two Democrats from the House.
That was good. Yeah.
One Republican from the House, and another Republican from the House. So 2 and 2. Nice to see that we've got more than just Anna Polina Luna and Eric Burleson showing up. But where the heck is Tim?
I told you, he's probably focusing on his campaign right now.
I know, but I'm going to keep on saying it because we love him so much. So not that way, folks. But yeah, we loved him. Absolutely. Is that good? Yeah, it's okay there. It's responsive. Next one, there's going to be a policy address from Senator Kirsten Gillibrand. Kiki, the one who loves Aro so much.
Oh, yeah.
I don't trust her as much as a freaking, what do you call it? It's a screen door on a submarine. Ain't going to keep shit out.
No, you're right about that. She's going to be talking out of her ass tomorrow like she usually does.
Let's see if she holds. Now, there was one statement I saw somewhere where she was saying about her speech, what she's going to be talking about, that we're at an unprecedented point in a government cover-up that's been going on for over 100 years.
Right.
Sounds like she's been talking to Lou. Just saying.
Well, I don't think she's a fan of Lou's, but that's okay. She's a fan of Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick.
Oh, yeah.
We know how much she loves Sean.
But hey, Luna was hanging out with Sean, with Avi Loeb, who hangs out with Sean.
Yeah, right. They do. But that's not a good sign in my book.
I had to bring it up, though. Security and defense. National security. Look, it's empty. How did that happen? UAP and emerging threats. Perspectives on what disclosure for national security, arms control, non-proliferation, international diplomacy, and intelligence sharing. Oh, this is all the shit that keeps us from actually getting the truth, Mike.
Right. That's right.
Okay. Moderator Gaddy Shorts from NBC. I mean, he's about 4'11", isn't he? Maybe 5'2".
Yeah.
Yeah. Admiral Tim Gallaudet.
Yeah.
Coming from his experience on the Sci-Fi Network.
Yes.
Yeah. No, other places besides that one.
Yeah.
Christopher Mellon. We know Christopher, of course.
Yeah.
He's the guy who helped Lou leak the shit out of the Pentagon in 2017. No.
He was. Yeah.
Kirk McConnell.
Yeah.
Used to be in the administration, and Marik von Rennenkampff. Just hung out with him a little over a week ago. Great guy. He's used to be in the SecDef office, I think, and dealing with a lot of government things in the past. And he's now working as a full-time reporter for The Hill, but also does a lot of reporting work with the Soul Foundation.
Yeah.
And there seems
he
to be
was an analyst for the Department of State. Yeah. Intelligence. Yeah.
Thank you.
He knows his stuff. He's very smart.
Yeah. Dirty Dancer 8 says, "Where's Nolan? Haven't heard from him in a while." Well, we had a tweet from Nolan last week, right?
Yeah, we did. We covered it.
Like he
Gary
put it on
was
Saturday.
talking.
Didn't we cover that on Monday or something?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, and Nolan was out there talking.
I know. Who was singing about Nolan again? Dirty Dancer. Have you watched some of the old episodes we've done recently? You may have missed it. But yes, that is, he's not out there every day.
No, he's not.
All right. So we got policy addresses. Policies, no. Remarks on UAP policy, congressional oversight, and balancing disclosure for the American people with national security. God damn it.
Take a drink, everyone.
I can't. I need to get a refill.
But hey, Senator Mike Rounds is going to be making the policy address.
Well, I know. I'm just trying to find something I can put on the screen for a minute so I can go get a drink. Come on, give me something on X. Let's pull this.
We have another video. I think that you said we could play, right? Check the bookmarks.
I've played them.
Okay.
Check my bookmarks. Yeah, I know. Well, we've already gone through those. 18 minutes of videos. All right, there's got to be something in here. The Popat, no, that ain't going to be it. No, not about ground beef, not about soccer. No one cares about that in this country. All right, more stuff about soccer.
Video was released of the cameras.
Was this Marik von Rennenkampff talking here?
Even more apparent. The 30.
Seems like our audience is not expecting much from this Disclosure Foundation event tomorrow.
Okay, we got a video here, right, from Marik von Rennenkampff's.
There you go.
YouTube account. I don't think he'll spank us on it. No, what the hell did I just do? I want this one, copy video address, and I want to go to here.
I don't think he will either, but if there's any issue, go call him and deal with it.
34.
All right, so we got that. I want to get to this. I want to go back to the post itself. This is the post. Zoom it in. Here we go. Marik von Rennenkampff. This will let me get out for a second. New discoveries in the Gimbal UAP video definitely falsify the glare in distant jet theories. Let's go ahead and get this up here. This is a video from Marik von Rennenkampff getting into some of the debunking, Mike, that has gone on these things that have been around for a while. Here we go.
34-second Gimbal UFO video was released in December 2017 by the New York Times and quickly became the most recognizable UFO footage in the public domain. Skeptics maintain that Gimbal actually shows a distant, misidentified jet and that the object itself is an optical artifact, sometimes called glare. In this video, we will conclusively demonstrate, beyond any reasonable doubt, that both claims are false. To summarize briefly, we will demonstrate that the camera pans downward as it tracks a nearby object and not a distant jet. We will also demonstrate that the camera tracks the object as it proceeds along the exact anomalous flight path described by air crews and which is found in sophisticated 3D recreations of the gimbal incident. Establishing the close range to the object is the single most important element of this analysis because it proves beyond any doubt that this is a highly anomalous incident. After demonstrating the close range to the object and the perplexing nature of the footage, we will demonstrate that the gimbal object is not an optical or camera artifact, but instead an actual object that rotates in mid-flight despite lacking wings or obvious means of propulsion, only deepening the mystery of the gimbal video. The distance to the object is the single most important element of any analysis of the gimbal footage, as it can prove or disprove the anomalous nature of the video. This is why skeptics, most notably Mick West, claim that the gimbal object is in fact a distant, misidentified jet some 30 miles away. This distant, misidentified jet, West claims, flies along this oddly curved flight path. Now, any skeptic who claims that the gimbal video shows nothing more than a distant, misidentified jet must consciously ignore a significant amount of context. First, the gimbal incident occurred amid daily observations by naval aviators of unknown objects off the U.S. East Coast, which demonstrated highly anomalous flight characteristics. Next, skeptics must ignore that the gimbal video was recorded just minutes after the GoFast incident, in which the same aircrew that recorded the gimbal video tracked one of 4 unknown objects flying in formation hundreds of miles off the coast of Florida in close proximity to a Navy aircraft carrier.
Now, Mike, if you remember when that was going on, oh my God, there's a whole fleet of them.
Yep. And they were moving against 110 mile an hour wind.
Yep.
So it's not a balloon, obviously.
No, I don't know. Want to continue on this for a little bit, or should we get back to where we're at?
Yeah, and this is an update on these old videos, right?
Yeah.
Let's play a couple more minutes and see where it goes.
Minutes. Before we move on then, because the audience is getting a little tired, I can tell. I actually know what we're holding on. Ryan, your hand is up.
Yeah, I really like Marik. I don't know how to say his name.
Marik von Rennenkampff.
Okay, I really like him because he has a lot of clout, and he's been going back and forth with Mick West for several years.
I know.
And he's basically put Mick West to bed as far as the gimbal footage is concerned. I don't know if you guys noticed, but a couple of months ago, he caught Mick West altering the metadata.
Yep.
Mick West altered the metadata so it would suit his narrative.
He's a video game programmer. It's not about making something realistic. It's about making something that feels fun, and it's captivating. So
Marik von Rennenkampff to me is kind of a hero because he's putting Mick West in his place. Mick West is scrambling, trying to find out with something else to debunk. But yeah, I like him. So anyway, that's my comment.
Thank you, sir. Here we go.
Skeptics who claim that the gimbal object is nothing more than a distant, misidentified jet must also ignore that multiple radar sources tracked both the gimbal object as well as a, quote, fleet of several other unknown objects flying in formation in close proximity to the gimbal object. Not only that, they must ignore that naval aviators have, quote, zero doubt and, quote, very high confidence that the gimbal object was close by, within 10 miles of the jet that recorded the video. Skeptics must also ignore the fact that following the incident, a group of naval aviators, intelligence officers, and even the senior officer aboard the aircraft carrier were so perplexed that the incident was reported to naval intelligence. And to this day, the object in the gimbal video remains officially unidentified. Now, let's demonstrate that the gimbal object is at the close range described by aviators and not a distant, misidentified jet. Imagine you're driving down a highway. From your perspective, a distant object, such as this highway overpass, does not appear to move. However, as you get closer and closer, this overpass appears to move upwards, and you must look continually upwards to observe it. The same thing is true in the air. If this is a faraway jet flying away from the camera, as skeptics claim the gimbal object is, then the camera does not need to move to maintain track of it. However, if the object is nearby and the observer is closing in on it, the camera must pan down continuously to keep track of it, just as we see here. Intriguingly, when we stabilize the gimbal footage to remove the effects of the recording plane's movements and then stitch the frames together along the clouds, we get this, which very clearly shows that the camera pans downwards up until the very end of the video. This is proof that the camera was tracking a nearby object. If this had been a distant, misidentified jet, these images would be stacked horizontally and would not have this downward component. Now, to be clear, this downward pan of the camera is subtle, about 0.4 of a degree, but it is enormously significant. Importantly, this phenomenon is not in dispute. Skeptic Mick West, the lead proponent of the distant jet theory, has found this as well. Now, one of the more interesting elements of the stitched footage, which shows that the camera pans down as it tracks a nearby object, is at the very end, where it appears that the camera pans slightly upwards. This apparent upward pan of the camera is even more apparent when we stitch together frames of the video and compare the position of the artificial horizon, which rises over the course of the video. This suggests that the object climbed at the very end of the gimbal.
Dr. Lee Percussion. This is a presentation by Marik von Rennenkampff. He will be at the Disclosure event that's happening in DC tomorrow. I believe, is one of the presenters and maybe even a moderator for that matter. In this video, he's talking about the new discoveries in the gimbal and UAP video that definitely falsify the glare and distant jet theories that are something that has been put out there by Mick West many times in the past. So that's just a really quick update for any of us. Any of you who are joining us a little bit later, here we go. Let's continue.
Gimbal footage. Once again, this phenomenon can be observed in the panorama stitched by skeptic Mick West. We will mark here the position of the artificial horizon at this point in the video. Now let's watch as the artificial horizon rises and the camera pans upward towards the end of the video. This implies, again, that the gimbal object climbs at the very end of the footage. Now, former naval aviator Ryan Graves, who was airborne during the large-scale training exercise during which Gimbal was filmed, also reviewed the tapes and the radar data following the incident. These images provided by Graves show the radar tracks of the gimbal encounter from a top-down God's eye view. At the beginning of the incident, the gimbal object and a formation of other unknown objects are flying in the same direction. The quote-unquote fleet of unknown objects then commenced a roughly 180-degree turn to fly in the opposite direction. Meanwhile, the gimbal... Now,
okay, so look at... Hold on. I'm at 6 minutes and 35 seconds. Give me a second here, folks. I'll make this a lot easier for us. 6 minutes. Almost there. I'm going to jump in and replace this video with something I have better control of, the display surface. See what I mean? Come on. Only 1280 by 720. Come on. Copy URL. No. Oh, no. Chat, am I still live? Matt, are you there?
Yeah, you're there. Yeah, man.
Yeah, you're fine. I'm calling for everyone in the show.
Yeah, you're still on YouTube.
I am, okay. Because I started an application and it froze me for a second. Let's see if it's coming back, I think. Let's see where it's at. Yes, I'm there. Okay, come on. You can get through this shit. Come on, OBS. Come on. My audio's still going through. I can't see myself updated if it's really there. Apparently, it's at like 1 frame per second. There we go. We're back. I had to do it, though. God damn.
Yeah, you're moving very slowly. Now it's picking up.
It's fixed now. We got through.
All right, good. Good.
You know what my computer's saying, Mike?
What?
I'm verklempt. Talks amongst yourselves.
Yep.
All right, so we're at 6 minutes and 35 seconds. I know I delayed, but you're going to see why. 6 minutes and 35 seconds. Okay, now I've got this little thing here. There we go. Now I'll get a better control of it. Now let's get back to, I can do it from here. Let's hit play, and here we go.
The 34-second Gimbal UFO video was released in December.
Hold on, wait. 6 minutes. And close enough. So the one thing I wanted to show you is, here we go. We have it to where, is it not full screen? Damn it. Oh, there we go. Okay. This is what he means, that you've got the object here. This is what's coming out. So when they're leading forward, their tail is showing you the direction that they're moving. Now, as he gets into this,
God's eye view. At the beginning of the incident, the gimbal object and a formation of other unknown objects are flying in the same direction. The quote-unquote fleet of unknown objects then commenced a roughly 180-degree turn to fly in the opposite direction.
You can see right up there, the tails are going this way now, which means, like he's saying, that fleet that had a pattern like that, it's the exact same pattern, but it's interesting. It's the same shape, almost like it's a solid object, the way it's flipping between one and the other. That's interesting. But they, see what I mean, Mike? It's maintaining its V shape.
Yep.
Like he just took the entire thing. But if all of these, that's not just them stopping, going in the opposite direction. That's them literally like flipping around and then heading the other direction, maybe. That's just interesting. All right, here we go. .336. How did I just skip that? Damn it. What was it 6:36? 6:35. Sorry, 6:35. Get back to my mouse. I can do this a lot better. 6. There we go.
Top-down God's eye view. At the beginning of the incident, the gimbal object and a formation of other unknown objects are flying in the same direction. The quote-unquote fleet of unknown objects then commenced a roughly 180-degree turn to fly in the opposite direction.
Which means it didn't just literally flip. It's like the craft, I guess you'd have to go ahead and take. They did some kind of a quick pivot in what they were doing.
Yeah, they did.
No,
it wasn't sitting there static.
You know what? Here's the thing, Mike.
What?
These images aren't from the platform. They're from Ryan Graves. So we don't truly know if what was going on in these shapes was exactly how, to the level of detail we're looking at. We need to take a step back. This is for illustrative purposes. It's not actual data.
Right.
All right. I got too much into it, audience, but here we go.
Now, the gimbal object came to a brief apparent stop before reversing direction with no radius of turn, which is a highly anomalous flight path. Remarkably, the exact flight path naval aviators observed on radar can be found in sophisticated 3D reconstructions of the gimbal incident at the range provided by aviators. Now, this is either an extraordinary coincidence or the object's true flight path. Intriguingly, the reconstructed flight path shows that the object climbed at the end of the video, which is precisely what we observe in the stitched panorama footage. Anyone interested in learning more about these geometric reconstructions is encouraged to review our paper. Not only can the gimbal object's highly anomalous flight path be found in 3D reconstructions of the incident at the distance provided by naval aviators, the object also increases in size over the course of the video. Of course, an object increasing in size is inconsistent with a distant jet flying away from the plane that's recording the video, but it is entirely consistent with the jet closing in on a nearby object. Now, let's briefly recap. First, the camera pans downwards to track a nearby object. This is of critical importance because it falsifies the quote-unquote distant jet hypothesis for the gimbal video. This alone makes the gimbal video extremely perplexing, but it's just the beginning. Sophisticated 3D reconstructions of the incident using data from the video find an exact match with the highly anomalous flight path naval aviators observed on radar. Not only can the gimbal object's highly anomalous flight path be found in sophisticated 3D reconstructions of the incident, those reconstructions find an altitude increase at the very end of the video. That climb, in turn, can be observed in the video footage. These extraordinary exact matches give us very high confidence that this close-by flight path, and not a distant, misidentified jet flying away from the camera, was indeed the gimbal object's true flight path. At the same time, the increasing size of the gimbal object over the course of the video is inconsistent with a distant jet flying away, but entirely consistent with the jet recording the video closing in on a nearby object. So now let's put all of this together and examine why exactly the gimbal video is so perplexing and why skeptics insist that the object is actually a distant, faraway, misidentified jet. Given the camera's zoom and field of view settings, a regular fighter jet would look something like this if it was at the same distance as the gimbal object from the jet that recorded the video. You'll notice that in stark contrast to the gimbal object, wings, an exhaust plume, control surfaces, and the structure of an aircraft are plainly visible. Since we now know that this is the correct distance from the jet that recorded the video to the gimbal object, this begs an obvious question. How did the gimbal UAP proceed along that highly anomalous flight path despite lacking wings or obvious means of propulsion? The truly anomalous nature of this incident also explains why no naval aviators or experts seem to be able to make heads or tails of the footage, and why there is zero empirical evidence from the camera system that recorded the video to support the distant jet hypothesis. Now, what about the object's intriguing apparent rotation? Once again, we have a remarkable match with the object's flight path. The gimbal object rotates 4 times over the course of the video. The first 2 rotations are brief and rapid. However, the third rotation is long and continuous. It also just happens to match exactly with the reversal of direction in the flight path that aviators observed on radar and on the flight path that is retrieved in 3D reconstructions at the range provided by aviators. For their part, skeptics claim that the gimbal object's apparent rotation is nothing more than a function of an optical artifact, sometimes referred to as glare. While the remarkable match between the rotation and the flight path seems to rule that out, there are other ways that we can demonstrably falsify the claim that the gimbal object's rotation is nothing more than a quote-unquote rotating glare.
All right, Mike, this is something that's great, but we've got other stuff we have to cover from our site as well.
Okay, we can move on.
Yeah, I just don't want to take this whole 20-minute video and just play it through in one piece. You know, it's something we should kind of, share across multiple opportunities we have. So great stuff from Marik. He's someone who's been going after the debunkers hard, going after Mick West especially, taking all of Mick West's stuff and his pompousness and how he's trying to say how it is, and just, if you want to call it, over talk on top of anybody. Marik von Rennenkampff is the guy who's behind this, and He's doing, a great service for Disclosure, Mike. He's fighting for science facts, not science debunkers.
And he's doing a hell of a job doing it. So that's why we were taking the time to listen to this, because nobody else is able to debunk Mick West. So yeah, this is good stuff. We'll get back to it. It's not going anywhere.
Absolutely. Now, we were just talking about there was going to be a presentation right before lunch from Senator Mike Rounds on UAP policy, congressional oversight, balancing disclosure for the American people with national security. I've said it before, so I'll say it again. That's what it's kind of about, Mike. And it's about, I guess it's what Lou said before. Great way to explain it. We've got 20 UAP files, right? Or let's say 200 UAP files. Out of those 200 UAP files, let's say 80 of them are critical to national security. Weapons, research, scientific stuff that we've been doing to try and figure it out for weapons, for energy, and et cetera, et cetera. They're not going to let that out. We're not going to hear about the power systems, probably. We're not going to hear about how the shells of the craft are made. They're not going to tell us about what's inside and the different stuff. We may get a little bit of stuff, but we're not going to get the down details because of, national security, right?
Right.
It's just the reality of what we deal with. We can't get past it. So, what? Oh, damn it! Hold on. Right there. In my hand. Mosquito.
Good shot. Yeah, good shot.
Yeah, I've got a problem with my left leg. If I get like mosquito bites and stuff, I have to be careful with antibiotics and stuff because otherwise my fucking leg gets infected.
No, I know that could be rough.
Yeah, exactly. All right. National security, the balance of it. That's going to be a good conversation, but it's coming from Mike Rounds. And, this UAPDA stuff has gone through 3 years. They're doing it for 4 years. And he comes out, puts it out there, but never really gets up in front of the audience of people, of the Senate and anything, and fights for it.
No, which is why it's failed consistently the past 3 years running.
Yes, true.
So I don't know what the hell he's going to do at the presentation tomorrow, but I guess we'll see.
But, there we go. Lunch is not provided. Cheap motherfucker. You can't even cater food.
They're broke. It's bring your own lunch. I guarantee it.
Come on, Christopher Mellon, you couldn't cover food for this? That way everyone stays together and you eat your food, you talk about stuff, you do the whole networking thing.
No, they're not going to pay for everybody.
Pizza from Costco, it's not that much.
They're not doing it. They're not going to do it, Thomas. That's what's going on. It's going to be a real shit show, I think.
Mike?
Yes.
We could have got a sponsor for that easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't take hard. If you're a 501c3, you need to call on people to get corporate sponsors. Who cares? It's money, right?
Right. And it's not hard to do with the certification.
Logos
but it seems
on
like
stuff. There's plenty of military contractors you could probably get to go ahead and fund this.
Yeah,
they spend billions behind the scenes, to bribe the government. So why not get some food?
It doesn't seem like they're doing that, though. Someone dropped the ball.
Coming from the person at every company that I've worked at, I have been instrumental in organizing and implementing Beer Fridays. Good foods, appetizers, different kind of snack foods, chips, different kinds of little things to go ahead and choose on. And, of course, the giant party buckets full of ice and alcohol.
I'll go one better. If they really wanted to, and it wouldn't take much effort, they could have reached out to Danny Sheehan from the New Paradigm Institute, who happens to be in D.C. He would have sprung for at least some pizzas for these people.
Oh, God, I saw some picture. Someone had a picture on X. It was Danny Sheehan, the best house guest ever, Stephen Bassett.
Oh God!
And there was someone else in it, and I think it's like this, like gathering at some kind of like 2-bit bar. It kind of looked like.
There's a lot of them in DC, yeah.
And a lot of it's like, someone drove up the bus from Shady Acres and dropped off the residents.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that though. All right.
No, it's okay.
All right. So, your options for lunch if you're there is Cups and Company, Durskin Cafeteria, the Inside Scoop, or the coffee shop.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of
Tim
people going for
Burchett would be
coffee.
there, he could go ahead and sell his legendary peanut butter sandwiches.
Yeah, he makes them himself.
But if you're trying to talk, a peanut butter sandwich
is not going to work.
It's going to frickin' keep you from frickin' talking.
Yep.
I mean, they could bring MREs. Like, they literally have like connections with the government, so like they could just go get MREs. They're just not trying hard enough.
Yeah,
it's not just lunch; it's a networking thing.
Yeah,
it brings the people who are on stage together with the people in the audience, and everybody kind of mingles and schmingles for a bit.
If you're trying to sell me on UFOs and you invite me to this event in DC and you don't give me lunch, I'm kind of going to be pissed off.
You're not going to give me water. You're not going to give me any fucking coffee. If I want it, I have to get it myself.
Be pissed off the entire time. Maybe that's what they want the audience to be, is pissed off.
Okay. Everyone's going to come back pissed off and hangry, potentially.
Yeah.
Science and investigation from anecdote to instrument data. How the fields move from eyewitness accounts to calibrated instrument. How the fields move from eyewitness accounts to calibrated instrument data. And what rigorous measurement and analysis require. I'm trying to get his pitch. I've got to practice. If I don't practice, I'll never get it right. Eyewitness. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So here's Avi once at a time saying calibrated instrument data. He doesn't want to believe in anything unless he's got the data from his calibrated instruments. And what rigorous measurement and analysis require? Rigorous measurement? You mean, okay. That should be interesting.
Depending on what they bring out, yeah. We'll see. Oh, we're going to cover all of it after it comes out. So,
yeah,
we'll see what they bring, good or bad.
Something good. All right, let's get to the next one. Here we go, Mike. The one we've been waiting for: religious implications.
Mm-hmm.
The impossible made real. How societies function when confronted with ideas once deemed impossible. And what disclosure asks of existing religious and scientific frameworks.
Okay.
So how is disclosure of the non-human intelligence and the truth goes around it? How is that going to affect the stories and the fables and the scriptures and the books, right? That are from so many religions. It may bring up some contrary information.
It may.
But no. It may bring up some contrary facts.
Yeah. But
which
people are going to have to adapt to that.
Contrary to beliefs, and we got a caliphate, and everyone's calling heresy, and before you know it, the cats and dogs are sleeping together. The end of the world.
Yeah, demons and the religious implications, religious war.
Oh, but the interdimensionals, Mike, that's where it gets into. Is it a portal opening up and they're walking out and doing things around here? Here's the thing. And all the reportings of all the things that have happened until recently, right?
Yeah.
The only interdimensional shit anyone has ever been talking about, let's be realistic right now, is the shit that happened back when Bob Bigelow, and he owned a ranch, and it was called the Bigelow Ranch. And he was there with him, Burt Rutan, Richard Branson, John Alexander, and I'm not sure, there may have been one other person there. in addition to Bob Bigelow. These are the original guys who were there, and that's when they observed with the night glasses and saw like the portal open up and the big thing crawl out like a humanoid kind of a form and run off into the woods.
Yeah.
That's a dimensional portal kind of a thing,
right.
I think. But before then, and Alexander has always been talking about that we're dealing with something that's interdimensional, not extraterrestrial. So it's been in the conversation in the vernacular for a while, but I have a feeling Jay from MUFON has got a better idea on that than me.
He does. That's why his hand is up.
I was just going to say that that's not the only portal that people have been talking about, Thomas. If you look at with News Nation, Ross Cohart talks about a portal at Bradshaw Ranch with military people that are surrounding it or something.
Okay, so that's more recent, though. I'm saying going back timeline and what we've been dealing with and talking about UFOs and everything from now going back to the far past. There hasn't been a lot of talking about portals. It's usually
the only thing that I can think of is am I thinking of the right place? Globekle Tepe with the keyhole thing on it, or am I thinking of something else?
You're thinking about something else.
But it was an ancient portal site down in South America, I believe.
Okay.
It was a gear-like device. It was like one of the first computer-type things that they...
No, Daryl. It was a carving into a wall. It was like... Are
you talking about where it looks like it's a doorway, but it's right in the side of a cliff?
They say that's a portal way.
Yeah,
they say that a person disappeared into it, but it was never proven.
Yeah. And if it was a doorway, there'd be people going in and out on a regular basis. Son of a bitch, Daryl, you're back.
I'm back. I'm here.
Good to see you, Daryl.
Good to see you guys.
Got the
I did not get a Phillies game in, Abe. Sorry.
Blasphemy.
I'm here. Let the bells ring out and the banners fly. Feast your eyes on me. It's too good to be true, but...
I will say, though,
did you get a cheesesteak or a water ice?
A cheesesteak at Pat's.
All right. That's not the best place, but I'm just happy you got one. I'm just happy
the most bestest thing is that we secured some business for the people that are building the Trump battleships.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Cool.
Why not?
Philadelphia needs business, man, and so business down at the shipyard is a really big deal for Philadelphia,
and
that's awesome.
And the service it provides, it's a great concept.
Oh, yeah.
Philly's going to love that, and we're going to sell a lot of cheesesteaks, and the Phillies are going to go to the World Series.
There we go. All right, so let's get back into society and psychology. How people process the unprecedented. How individuals and institutions absorb information that breaks the long-held expectations, and the psychology of processing the unprecedented. Well, this is where we've had a conversation going on for the longest time, where there are countries in the world that are very concerned about when this truth is hitting, how is it going to affect our country, our industry, our people, our towns, our religion, our science, our military, and everything else. And they're trying to put initiatives in to when this stuff hits, that it's not going to have a high impact for it because they've been working on the mitigation ahead of time to roll it out so things are safe. But I don't think we're that good here in the United States. Do you, Mike?
No, not at all, Thomas. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. Otto, there we go. Ryan, your hand is up.
Yeah, I still got to fix my name. I've been too busy, but I just wanted to say welcome back, Daryl. Did you keep up on your national security, Daryl, during your absence?
Yeah, we had enough national security to last a while.
There we go.
Did you have any comments about some of the recent stories that you missed?
Can we do that in a bit and catch up and then finish this up first?
Yeah. All right. Well, I just
That's
thought
okay.
I'd give Daryl a shout out.
I appreciate your intentions.
Okay.
God, it's like you're the chairman of a board. You've got the whole board and everything is there. You got to go ahead and go through the agenda, get this stuff done. And if someone keeps on bringing stuff on, sometimes you just have to bring it back so we can continue. And I'm bad enough as it is. All right, so society and psychology, how people are. So we already got that one. And that's a psychologist chick. We looked her up earlier, Mike. Now, next is technology and innovation, research, industry. And what comes next? How research institutions and industry can turn open questions into programs, instruments, and next generation of technical work. Oh, please be here. Let's see if I'm that organized. I'm not. Where the hell have those files? Come on. Never mind. I can't find him. I was going to bring up Lou Elizondo's 5 pillars, because this is one thing Lou was actually part of for a while. Basically having an international research laboratory is this what it's kind of talking about. It's one of the stuff that Lou was talking about that we could bring together with Disclosure next. The financial impacts, risks and opportunities. The risks and opportunities Disclosure could create across financial markets, and how advances in technology might reshape them. So, Daryl, from a financial standpoint, what do you think Disclosure could create? What kind of opportunities Disclosure could create across financial markets? New technologies, new energy systems?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a big question like, what are they going to do with us? Number one, but let's just say it's going to be okay, hunky-dory, everybody's happy along in the universe. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the tech companies that are out there today that are already leading the pack probably will continue to lead, and then there's room for innovation. I mean, it could be amazing. I hope before I die, I could see some amazing stuff.
Yeah. But this is where we're going to get more of the billionaires like Peter Thiel and Elon Musk and other people taking their billions or trillions and putting it towards a problem and solving it, which we've been able to do on so many different things in the past.
Yeah, hopefully we don't have to go to Mars. That's I just really don't want to have to go to Mars.
Yeah, either that or we're going to have to go under the oceans.
Yeah. Yeah, that might be interesting.
Depending on how far down you go. That seems a bit more realistic. We can actually create all the tech here and everything we're going to need and be able to create that resilient splinter of civilization that can make it through to the next cycle.
Hopefully not like the crew that went down there to look at the Titanic and, yeah.
No, that was like bootstrapped together. That was like freaking MacGyver.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You're right.
All right. So we've got financial impacts. That's what they're getting to. And I guess that's it. So it's a full day of stuff. I guess possibly, maybe the section with Mellon and McConnell and Marik von Rennenkampff on national security, UAP and emerging threats. That could be an interesting one. The roundtable on UAP transparency. We already know where a lot of these people are, but Rep. Suas, he's really skeptical, and he's a Democrat. But, I've heard stuff. He would like to understand it, but he's not willing to buy into it until he sees some facts, which I think that's where a lot of people are.
Yeah, and by the way, I came in on this on the whole conversation at the lunch comment.
Yeah,
and that's just number one. You'd think you could find somebody to pop to go for the lunch, but
you know what I mean, right? Really the whole schmoozing thing that happens at lunch.
Yeah, but it's a really bad marketing thing that they did here. I mean, it's like textbook what not to do. If you're not going to pay for lunch, don't call it a lunch break. Just call it a break.
Right.
That's so stupid. They really need some marketing people in that.
It's operations, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well,
I get it. You get it.
Yeah, they don't get it.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, Lester. I love you, my friend, but man, you need to fucking scrape the budgets and pay for lunch.
Yeah. Yeah.
But hopefully he gets the microphone right this time. You know what it's like to get through the microphone thing, but I know how to help people to make it sound good, and I just hope they figure it out on their own. Because there's been audio problems at every single time that they've had this so far. Hopefully now it's out of the House and it's in the Senate building, it'll work.
This is a lot like the people that put together that Titanic little drone thing that went down there. It's duct tape and clear seal, flex seal.
Yeah, but we have to be positive.
Yes.
As
right, so are you taking
as
off?
we can be positive with okay, they're going to get together and talk about nothing's going to fucking happen out of it. So look at this in a way that you're not like lifted up and saying, hooray, they're doing this and it's going to be so great. There might be something good. There might not be. So if there isn't, don't be surprised. But if there is
this tomorrow's agenda?
Yeah, it starts at like 6 p.m. Actually, your time, you're Eastern, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So it starts at 9 a.m. your time.
Oh, okay. That's all right. I'm taking a couple hours off tomorrow morning. I'll watch it. Are you going to be on?
I don't know. It's early.
That's a no.
I'll try and keep the back chat going all night. 3 o'clock in the morning. I may still be up, and so if I can keep the back chat going, I'll share the screen in Thomas's back chat. So hopefully we have some people join our back chat tonight.
That'd be cool.
I'll
a sleepover.
No, I can go ahead and give some privileges.
Yeah, that could be done.
Magic wand, pluff. I have to bring up the Google Calendar for the account and edit a meeting and add some people with privileges, and then they've got El Kabong. Ryan, what say you?
Well, I don't want to be negative, but if I have trouble falling asleep, I'll turn it on because I'm sure it'll help me.
No, Darryl will be around and everybody else. It's just an easy thing to add into it. Thank you, Edwin. I appreciate it.
No, I mean, I don't expect much out of it. So.
Yeah.
But
just real quick, a PSA for everybody. Grateful Benny says, "How do you enter the back chat?" If you look at the bottom of the chat where you just typed "Grateful," Thomas Fessler has put "viewer call in," and there's a link. You click on that link, and then you can join us.
Is it pinned?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's pinned. It's right on the top in white.
Or you can just go to Google Meet and put in a little code that I'm putting in at the bottom of the chat.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say that this Disclosure Foundation is running on a low budget.
Yeah, but still, it's lunch.
Yeah, I'll try to be positive.
What's it going to cost you to cater lunch? $1,000?
They can always pass around a jar for donations if they needed some extra money.
You know, okay, $2,000? It's DC. God,
yeah.
Burchett could have made a fucking fortune. He needs to set up at that council, have a little freaking table there, and sell freaking his peanut butter sandwiches for $10 a pop. He's got a captive audience, and then people can go ahead and talk to them if they want to talk to him. They have to buy one of his sandwiches, and they're all political donations. There you go, Mike.
Well, I think Burchett's busy making skateboards. Maybe he could sell some of those. Anyway, I'll get off.
Yeah. So opening address, that's important. Congressional Roundtable on Transparency, that's important. The policy address, that's important. Now, hold on a second. 10, 11, 12, 9. Okay. I will hate myself. But if I get up early, I can have this going and let it run at times where I have to be doing other things, like meetings nonstop for a while throughout the day. But I can get it going, be a part of the show earlier on, but the back can be there to talk about stuff if we need to. I just won't be able to go ahead and pause and unpause. But, yeah, I'll roll the dice. What do we have to lose, right?
Yeah, nothing.
You know, Mike. Of course we do. It's called fucking sleep.
Well, if we
Not
stay
for
off,
you, but
yeah.
all right. So okay, so we've got that one there, and then we have time. Although I could call it, but I do have something else here. I need to go find OpenAI. Because the Disclosure Foundation, let me go to chat history. Hold on. Come on. Recents. All right. Here we go. Now, here we go. So there's been a report from the Disclosure Foundation that came out about a week ago. It's like there's an executive summary out there that's like 17 pages. And there's also, now I want to get to there. Come on. I don't want to get to the Disclosure Foundation. That's good. About events. You seeing this? Their website doesn't work. There we go. Events. No, work. News. Research and policy. Psychological impact of NHIs and UAP and NHI disclosure. So, Disclosure Foundation is taking the deep step. They're going ahead and looking into it. You know, it's the same stuff, Mike, that they dealt with back in 2004 when Elizondo and others tried to bring disclosure out the first time when they were shut down. They brought everybody together, these 36 panel of like 36 people, whatever it was, and everybody talked about it, and they all voted on it, and everybody came back and said the impacts of bringing UFO disclosure forward at that time, you can't do it, and they walked everything back from where they were going to go.
Right.
Now, the thing is, disclosure is not just national security, science, or transparency issue. Right here, so I can give me one script up here. There we go. Smaller. That's what happens when you lose a 4K display and you go back to 1080p. All right. It's also a public psychology and public health preparedness issue. Now, it's not that people will panic. It's the opposite. Most people are going to adapt. But poor communication, low trust, misinformation. We've heard a lot of misinformation from the religious right at this point, Mike. So far, right, Mike?
Yeah, so far, yeah.
Calling everything demons and how it's heresy and how it goes against the Bible, the Old Testament, all the stuff. They're reaching everywhere. And a lot of it, I hate to say, it's the freaking Catholics so far and the Christians who are kind of losing it. Stigma and a mental health system strain that could turn disclosure into a problem, a bigger problem that it needs to be. So I guess it's coming down, how do you go ahead, control some of these, get going on. Disclosure, as we know it, Mike, has already started.
Right.
And the public is being asked to process it inside a messy environment. Again, the old stigma, institutional distrust, incomplete information, media sensationalism. Hold on. Someone doesn't know the rules. There we go. Media sensationalism and online rumor machines. The authors are, the authors of this article argue that the real danger is not mass hysteria. The real danger is uncertainty plus bad communication plus no support plan. I guess, Mike, kind of at this point, looking at it, it comes down to, I guess you're going to need to have that support line and saying, "Oh my God, the aliens are real. I can't handle it. What should I do?" Do you think we'll have that kind of an instance going on with a lot of people, Mike?
No, but we are going to get some of the religious that are going to be jumping up and down about demons. All I can tell you is that common sense dictates that if you think about it clearly enough, you could realize that God and the devil doesn't need a starship. Pretty simple. Doesn't get any more complicated than that. Oh, it's demons. No, it isn't, because they have their own UAP craft. Magical beings don't need spaceships.
But God does need a lot of money, though, Mike. You have to admit that.
No, you're right about that. Yes.
Thank you, George Carlin.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mike.
Yes.
If 1% of the American population can't handle it and needs support, it's only 1%, 1 out of 100 people.
Okay.
You're still talking 3.42 million people.
Right.
That's a sizable chunk of what the fuck am I going to do here?
Yeah, but if you divide that between 180 or so countries that exist around the world.
No, I'm just talking in this country alone. If you take 1% of the current population of the United States, which is 342 million, you would have 3.42 million in the United States alone that would be freaked out.
Losing their shit?
Yeah.
Well,
sometimes you'd have clusters. Sometimes there'd be less, but it would be a scatter map.
Last time I checked, Thomas.
That's only 1%. If you go to 5%, you're talking, 18 million.
Right. And I guarantee you that between 5 to 10% of the general population in this country are losing their shit on a regular basis every day normally for no reason.
But you're going to add these. Now, not all the people who are losing their shit, they're not going to all fall in this bucket, which means the number of people who are losing their shit is now going to go ahead and amplify.
But only on this topic. And there are people out there losing their shit for different reasons. Day-to-day life, drug addiction,
right?
Alcoholism.
About this for 1 second, Mike. Keep on going. I'll be right back.
Yeah. So there are people, I mean, look, if you're in law enforcement, like I was, and you deal with the general public on a day-to-day basis, you see shit like this all the time. It's just normal day-to-day life in this country with the people that are out there. I mean, they shut down the mental institutions. There are people that have all sorts of psychological issues, and they're melting down for one reason or another, and they're not all peaceful. Some of them are violent. Some of them hurt other people. Some of them hurt themselves. This is just a normal daily occurrence, and we manage to keep it in control each and every day. I don't think... we
were just talking about this today, about the mental institutions. I mean, come up with a better name, I guess. But I mean, the fact that they were all shut down has caused a lot of problems.
Well, because now, where do you think they put those people when they closed down these institutions? The street. That's where they put them. We're talking about former military members with PTSD that are not getting the proper care. And a lot of these people have been dumped on the street.
Right, but by now, the majority of the people who would have been on the street are dead at this point. What it comes down to is, where are all the people that should be in those institutions right now?
Oh, they're still out there.
Yeah.
Look at Seattle, Washington. Look at where these protests are going on. A lot of these people are mental patients. They're there.
Well,
they didn't disappear.
Majority of the ones you have in Seattle and Portland, they are not. Well, they are mental because they are so hyped up on fucking drugs all the time. They're drug addicts. That's you could treat this the problem. Oh my God, these people are crazy and everything. They're homeless and everything. No, that's the result of them being drug addicts.
Right.
And if you cater to the drug addicts and everything, you get Seattle.
Yeah. Well,
at least there used to be the worry of having to go to a mental institution, and now there's no worry. You know, there's no penalty. Who wants to go to a mental institution? I mean,
nobody.
You know, it's like it's just letting things run rampant.
It's like jail,
right?
When they had them back in the day.
Yeah. So back to this report really quick. The report basically says, don't worry about everyone running, screaming in the streets. Worry about it at the institutions mumbling, contradicting each other, hiding the ball like Lucy and Charlie Brown, and then wondering why the internet turns disclosure into a psychological demolition derby. Now, there's 5 disclosure stages here. We got limited disclosure, where it's kind of we're at right now. Government admits some UAP are real. We're not even there yet. But unexplained, this is where the report says the U.S. currently is. It's kind of accurate. Next is confirmatory disclosure. We have official scientific consensus. Says some phenomena are not known are not known human technology, but there's a consensus that some of it isn't. Then there is the attribution disclosure, as they want to call it out. All these wonderful terms to go ahead and justify their salaries. Wonderful. Some UAP are officially linked to non-human intelligence. Yeah, no shit. At least they're calling it that. Not extraterrestrials, because that can be denied so many times over. Then there's reconciliation disclosure, where the public learns what was known, when it was known, and what was withheld. That's something I think we're moving towards right now. Hopefully we'll get some of that stuff. We need it. That's why they want the whistleblowers, because if not, they're going after people. And then the last step is full integrated disclosure, with NHI knowledge becomes part of everyday society, affecting science, religion, technology, economics, politics. It's going to change everything, but what the hell, why not? What do we have to lose? The world's fucked up enough as it is. So the spicy part
only
is,
things to gain. Only things to gain.
The spicy part is these folks here think attribution is not even the biggest psychological bomb. Reconciliation may be worse, because there is what people are asking: who knew? How long? Why were we lied to? What else is hidden? Bringing out the truth that the government has been lying to us for all this time. Now, public reaction? It reports rejects the lazy, quote, the public can't handle the truth argument. Says that the people have adopted to a massive worldview of changes before, like Copernicus, Darwin, cosmology, pandemics, technological revolutions like the AI shit everyone's having to go through now. The difference is that the, UFO alien disclosure could compress what normally takes generations into months or years. And the only reason we're here is because they've been putting it off for months and years, for far too long. I guess it comes down to, have to look at it positively. Curiosity, awe, wonder. Finally, we're not alone. Well, we've never been alone. Neutral compartmentalization from people, where people say, wow, that's wild, and then go back to bills, kids, work, and Costco. What humans do. We'll go back and live our lives. We'll talk about it on a Monday at disclosure will happen. The big stuff will happen on a Friday. You'll get into work. You have to go to work on Monday anyway. Everyone's going to go to work. You'll talk about it with stuff, but then you're going to go back around your lives. Mike, you know what I mean?
Yeah. The bills still got to get paid, Thomas, no matter what's going on.
Right.
People have to deal with their family members, medical issues, food, shopping. This won't stop no matter what comes out, the disclosure. No. Right. People need to realize that the world will not stop spinning and our lives will go on.
You've got a wife, you've got kids, you've got a family. Everything that you deal with on a day-to-day basis is still going to happen.
Yeah, it's just not going to suddenly stop because they acknowledge we're not alone on this planet.
Hold on. Fuck Elf. Shame on you. Respect the host, respect the co-host, respect the guests and the other people in the show. Please. Thank you. Okay. I caught something. Yes.
I saw it.
I'm always watching.
Yeah, you got it.
You're like a fucking nun.
Yeah, you know, okay, when I used to go to the gym, I did go to the gym at one time. I used to be able to go ahead and read the tickers on two monitors, one on CNN, one had Fox going, and I could read them both at the same time. It took a while to be able to do that, trust me. Because you have like stuff that's coming on a word at a time, you're getting both in a word at a time that are different concepts.
I'm just saying, my first grade teacher, a nun, Sister Leah, said, "Look into my eyes. I can tell if you're lying to me." So it's kind of like you're always watching. You have that creepy little, I saw what you did.
Oh, my mom used to talk about the nuns used to take the boys back to the coat room where they had those like hooks sticking out of the wall, and she'd take the boy by the hand and fucking just beat their heads up against the wall.
Oh my God. I didn't experience that, thank God.
Yeah. It's been timed out for many different times by different people.
Well, Abe removed the offender for 24 hours. I only did it for 10 minutes.
Oh, well, when you just took him back to 10 minutes. So the last thing that you did took him back for 10 minutes.
Yeah. I think you'll get the message.
Yeah.
Remember that mental institution conversation we had a second ago?
Yes. But
this is the United States. He's safe in Australia.
Yeah, right. That crossed my mind too.
Talking about people going and punishing you, there was a teacher by the name of Mr. Carlos. He used to go ahead and he had, those drafting rulers, the three-sided ones? He'd walk around with it during class, and if you were leaning back, you were doing something, whatever it is, the boys would have to put their hand out, and he would take it and smack you across the knuckles with it.
Yeah, I got to throw it out there just before I don't want to get completely off track, obviously, but
no, I got to finish this really quick.
Oh, okay. I didn't know there was more, but wait, there's more.
He also had the teacher's pet, which was one of the little good-looking girls that he'd have up on his desk next to, his desk. He also liked, if the boys would do different things, he'd make you lean up against the wall, and he'd put a timer 20, 30 minutes, like brainwashing kind of stuff to do it. He'd do that to kids and put them in a closet and close the door, make them do it in the dark. Guy was nuts.
Was this a Catholic school?
No, this is a public school.
Oh, okay.
He was also a Century 21 salesman, had a really bad-looking toupee.
Okay.
And
so
he ended up getting fired because of what he was doing to the little girls.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Now,
I see.
That was in third grade.
Oh, my God, there's more.
Oh, there's more. That was in third grade. Freshman year in high school, I've got an art class with one of the girls I knew, Susan Hedricks, from third grade, who was in Mr. Carlos' class. He came in with a Century 21 code still, right? And she saw him, and she said, "No way. You're that fucking pervert who felt me up while I was a little girl in your class in third grade." And she just started calling everything out, saying everything that was going on, and just fucking screaming at him at the top of his lungs. He just got all disheveled, took his books, carried him out, and she chased him down the fucking hallway. Yeah, the principal of the school came in, or the vice principal, and said, "Yeah, there's some stuff going on. Yeah, I'm here to help out in the meantime." And your substitute teacher is no longer in the building.
Did she bring the kitchen knife and the tomahawk with her?
No, she didn't. But I'm sure if she had it, she would have used it.
Just yeah. So just saw in the chat, saw a bunch of people talking about nuns and rulers. So real quick, back to UFOs in 15 seconds. I accidentally tripped over a piece of tile that was loose in my first grade classroom. Sister Leah tells me to come to the front. She puts a yardstick in my hand and says, "Go tell the principal what you did." I'm like, "What the fuck? I just tripped over the tile." I mean, but she's thinking I did this thing on purpose. I'm like, so I go to the principal, who was also a nun. And I said, "Sister Leah told me to tell you what I did." And I tripped over a tile and it came up from the ground. And she said, she just shook her head and said, "Okay, go back to Sister Leah." It's like, somehow I had the grace of God on that one.
There you go. There you go. All right.
Anyway, it's a real thing, nuns and rulers.
Yeah. And I dealt with rulers as well in a different way with an extended story. All right, let's get into this. All right, back to the psychology of disclosure. Interesting things. All right, there's also an interpretive resistance, meaning we're going to be dealing with skeptics, religious groups, political groups, and identity-based communities. Oh, God. No, we're not going to get more letters, are we, Daryl?
I hope not.
I hope not. To reinterpret or reject the information. Are we going to get a whole bunch of different, I'm an experiencer, but I'm no longer that, with letters after it, I think?
I don't know.
I think so. Fucking A. We had enough of those titles. Pronouns?
Oh, yeah. Oh, right.
Identity-based communities, reinterpret or reject the information, uncertainty-driven. You know, there's going to be uncertainty. People are going to have anxiety because they obsessively search for answers because the story is incomplete. And they want to find the answers, but sometimes you may see things that you're just never going to understand. So you can't go crazy on the things you can't bring it down to. And then vulnerability activation, where you have some people with existing trauma, anxiety, psychosis spectrum conditions, or social instability may struggle more. Some of the things that they have in their normal life, right?
That's right, Martha fuckwit.
Yeah. Different things that they've got is going to spool on top of it, and it's going to, like throwing gasoline on a fire, unfortunately. And then there's always the catastrophic framing we're going to see. There's going to be a smaller, but an intense, you know what I'm talking about. Minority may interpret disclosure as apocalyptic. Well, if the world's going to end and the waves are going to come and go flowing across, it's apocalyptic, but it's a cycle of the planet. So, demonic. They're all devils. You're going to burn in hell.
Oh, my
You'll
God.
be saved.
At least JD Vance be proved true.
Okay, I said cultivating. No, it's cult validation. Oh boy, they get into it and they are blunt with regards to public health. The issue is not whether most people collapse. There probably won't, but the issue is whether a small percentage of the population seeks help all at once, which they won't get it. The danger isn't mass panic. The danger is going to be concentrated demand. Millions of people, like I brought up early in this, trying to make sense of something profound at the same time, while institutions are unprepared, mistrusted, and still speaking in press release fog. It's a problem. We need to look at what works fast and transparent and coordinated. We're going to need plain language communication from trusted messengers. What's going to harm all this from happening? Delay, contradiction, perceived concealment, institutional betrayal, and fear-heavy messaging. But we're talking about X here right now. And everybody else, you're going to see this shit every fucking day. So it can harm us, but we can't stop these people from talking about it. I guess it's going to come down to is the people like those in the audience that are aware of it, are going to have to become the pillars to help everybody else understand. Hopefully. What are the recommendations? What could the recommendations be? Hey, Daryl, I got a good recommendation for you. National security.
Yeah, that's a good one right here.
There we go. We can't see. You're off camera today.
I'm looking a little Ferrari and I are both looking a little haggard after this trip.
So which car did you take?
We took a Denali.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
So the report is going to recommend say what is known. Say what is unknown. We have to define it. Say what is still being investigated. Update it on a predictable schedule, not like the fucking schedule we're getting out of the federal government right now where they can't make up or communicate to let us know exactly when the next schedule drop is going to be, right?
I would like to know that.
That's, you know what that's causing? It's causing negative effects on the community because the lack of communication on that is missing. So,
yeah, it's a small community. It's the people we want to bring into the community that I'm worried about. And, you know, if it isn't structured well enough, it just is like a bad marketing program. Like, we're come and don't eat lunch at the lunch break. We're not going to pay for. I mean, it's just, you know, a lot of this is spin. I mean, you have to.
But no, you go back to the lunch thing, and we get it. I brought it up.
Right.
How are everyone's is going to come together and schmooze and eat food and stand around and get in little groups and talk about stuff and everything? It all falls apart. The entire thing about bringing everybody together. What's the best way to go ahead and bring people together is to break bread and eat, you know, have some food and some drink or maybe even some wine for that matter.
Always has been. I hope we have some interesting, I was going to say Asian culture, alien culture food to eat. Although I don't know what that's going to be like.
They're not going to have it tomorrow.
Right.
And I can only look at the head of operations for, sorry, Lester, I'm going to throw you under the bus because you have to have passion. And you have to have food.
Yeah. I mean, doesn't this guy have a wife? I mean, come on. Somebody should be talking to this guy.
Hold on. You're going to make me do this, aren't you?
No,
you didn't hear
I'm not
the video
making you
from
do anything.
Lester talking earlier. I don't think Lester has a wife.
I probably would have been bet on that, actually.
Yes. I would say Lester. Maybe he does. But he's very soft-spoken.
Oh, got ya.
Yeah. And there must be, and there's got to be a gas leak somewhere.
Not like a stretch.
No, we're not.
Oh, okay, all right.
No, we're not getting into Stretch Armstrong's sister today.
Okay,
not on my watch. I've already got enough complaints from HR on that one already.
Oh boy,
that's okay. Got it. Where is Michael and his mother? We're missing you from the chat, my friend. You were here all the time. We hope your mom is okay. He's like 70 and his mom is like 96, and they watch our show every night. They love the chat. They love our conversations.
Yeah. Because you're never going to hear a conversation like this anywhere else in the UFO community.
No. Gotta have fun with it. You gotta be serious about not being serious. All right, so final line. The truth might be strange, but there was more I actually missed. Okay, I've got a closing statement I was given to me, actually. So the paper is basically a public health memo for what they gave us for ontological shock. It says humanity can probably handle disclosure, but only if institutions stop treating psychology as an afterthought. The public does not need to be managed like children. It needs honesty, context, support, and a communication plan that doesn't look like it was assembled by a frightened committee behind a locked skiff door. The truth may be strange, but the cover-up, the confusion it causes, and the communication failure may be actually what hurts people the most. And that is out of our control. But at least we know what to look out for.
Mm-hmm. Good closing statement.
Yeah. Thank God for that. For once. On that note, oh God. If I play the sound effects, if I play it, it's probably gonna fucking okay. I'll try it. All right. So am I gonna get up tomorrow at 5:45 and actually have a show tomorrow? I guess I could.
Can you just write a home automation for it to all start up on its own?
I don't have a bot yet. I do have an extra Mac Mini in the kitchen that I could use from that, but I actually use it in the kitchen for doing this stuff. And I do have a PC down here. I could potentially do it, but no, I can't do that yet.
Oh, okay. Well,
but I'll do it.
Sometimes the human touch is better anyway.
Yeah. All right. So the good stuff is going to happen before my good meetings start at 9:30, which is 12:30 their time, which will mean they'll be at their lunch that they're not paying for. So we should be able to cover everything up until lunch, and then my day is going to get really busy. So I will give that to the audience. We will cover it. I'm going to do a variation of tonight's title card, and we'll call it a live reaction, whatever it is, and we'll do it.
Cool. I'm going to cancel some meetings actually for that tomorrow.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. That'll be 9 a.m. I guess probably I'm used to getting about 5 anyway. So if I turn my alarm on for what it usually does and it goes off early tomorrow, that'll get me up. So by 5:30, we can be turned on but I have to set it up tonight, and I'm not going to turn everything off because it'll just be easier. I'll leave chat up and going, which means I don't have to screw with that shit to get it up and going again. Yeah, it'll be easy.
Cool. As long as the little gray alien doesn't come in there and screw everything up overnight.
No, the squirrels, the doors are locked. They'll be fine. On that note, I think it's playing. Yeah, it's playing. I just can't hear it here. Sound effects. There we go. Everybody, you know what that means. What a great show. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Thanks to everybody for stopping in for tonight's show. We got 297 people still watching right now. Let me go on to viewer activity. No, I want to go to Spanalytics. 2,000 people watched. Hey, I got to the right point on that note. I want to thank everybody for coming out to this episode of Disclosure tonight. Yeah, we know it's a slow news night, but you know what? We still kept everybody entertained and gave you a place to come hang out and talk about and participate in Disclosure. You're a wonderful audience. Thank you very much for being a part of this episode. You make it for what it is, including the ones that sometimes we have to say, naughty, Elf. On that note, God, there must be another solar storm. I don't know, because I think there was. On that note, I'll thank Vern Dude to national security once, Vern Dude to national security twice, to national security, Daryl, 2 times in a row.
Yay, national security with an umbrella.
All right, there we go, folks. And as we usually say, but wait, there's more. Daryl, thank you for coming back, and thanks for coming on.
Oh, yeah, thanks. It's always good to be back.
Yeah, Mike, thanks for coming out tonight, my friend.
Oh, it was a lot of fun, Thomas. We talked about a lot of different things, and we're preparing for the event tomorrow. So, yeah, this was a lot of fun.
And I'm used to doing this fucking 6 days a week again. So the audience is lucking out on this because we're getting an audience. We're still getting 3,000 views per episode. We're getting good numbers of people coming into the show tonight. Where are we at? Just so the audience knows. Oh, God, analytics. Doesn't give me the max viewers. Not until later, but I think our max viewers tonight, about 350 wonderful people. I want to thank everybody for coming out to this. Mike, Daryl, and everything. More importantly, the audience. You're wonderful. I guess I have to go make a title card now, my little friends. And as we usually say at the end of every episode of Disclosure tonight, eyes open, no fear, be safe, everybody, but
go back to Party City where you belong.
Absolutely. And we'll catch you on the flip side. See you tomorrow, everybody. Take care now. Bye-bye.